Mhm. I'm the named respondent on an order for protection. Yes. And the petitioner's name is Heidi Budnick. Yeah. And it has my weight as 255 pounds. Yes. Light brown hair. Now, I have often mentioned that I'm going to get every court document, and for every time that I find any criminal record being blemished in any way, yes. Any court record, yes, as being falsified, or any court document not being filled out the way that the law requires, yes, I'm going to sue you. Ooch. And then I'm going to look at each of the criminal records, each of the court records, and then I'm going to get the actual court documents. Now, this DD 369 right now, I don't think you understand this idea of anger. Yes, you have a statutory duty to enforce the laws of the United States. And for the last 3.5 years, your whole plan was to get me put into a mental institution so my mother, yes, could take care of me. That happened to fall. Well, I know I'm delusional. Isn't that the problem? I'm delusional. I documented, yes, that they weren't 18, and you're saying that I'm the crazy one. Ooch. I documented that it looked to me that on all the warrants for my arrest, yes, somebody did actually change my address. Right. I documented forgery and fraud. Pooch. I documented felony after felony after felony after felony. And for some reason, yes, you want me to allow my mother to manage my assets so that you can cover up your crime of falsifying police reports, yes, false arrests, yes, and then sending court notices to a location that should have never. Well, it's called a statutory duty. For all of those in office that have a duty, yes, known as state statute requires. Statutory duty. See, I informed Phyllis of an actual forgery. In fact, I told her of elder abuse. It seemed that my grandmother had died. Yes. And I emailed you the actual obituary of her death. Pooch. The same grandmother that signed the application for a marriage license, knowing that her daughter was not 18, pooch, knowing that my father was not 18, yes, and that statutory rape, statutory interpretation, statutory damages, ooch, statutory exclusion, older juveniles from jurisdiction of juvenile courts in this kind of juvenile court, statutory extortion, statutory instrument. Is there any employees of this state that realize their statutory duty to report child abuse and elder abuse? Now, I had documented at the time that I found out about my grandmother's death, yes, that somebody had sold her house, right, had informed me of what happened to the assets. But let's say I did actually get to have my mother prosecuted for U.S. Code 1001. Poop. And then I found out that my uncle, my aunt, yes, did have knowledge. Now it'd be misprision of felony for the two of them. Ouch. Maybe they like each $250,000 fine and 3 years in prison. Now, invalidating the whole idea of them having control, yes, of my grandmother's assets because I did think that she did have the availability of residing in her home until the day of her death. But I thought somebody had put her away in a nursing home. Yes, sold everything that she had. Poop! And then didn't tell me where she was at and where all her personal belongings were. Now, let's say that all these marriage licenses that I can't find, yes, I'd like the actual original copy that I would have thought that Eunice Arp had kept before the adoption of my mother, Sandra Lee Arp, yes, to Charles Condit, yes. See, not having the adoptive father on the actual application, yes, would cause me a concern as the adoptive father, yes. Now, it could have been that my grandmother had a little boo boo when she got home right now because